What has this pandemic ruined for you? My dad's funeral. I'm so sorry. My dad is currently dying of cancer at the hospital alone. No visitors allowed. My mom was kicked out of his room a week ago. It's agonizing that he's alone. These are crazy times. I was meant to be getting married in 5 weeks. Also, I work in aviation. My whole future has been turned upside down over the last few days. I was watching the local news and they interviewed a police officer and asked what has changed in the past few days. He said that with everyone stuck at home, domestic abuse has gone way up. Man. Imagine being in an abusive relationship, and now you're locked in with that person 24/7 and you can't leave the house. That makes me very sad and I wish there was some way to help. Seeing as I have the virus, 25M, and have spent the last 2 days sweating, with a fever bouncing all over the place, and a throat that is in massive pain. I would say it ruined the past few days of mine. Having loved ones in nursing homes that are closed to visitors. The rule is completely reasonable and necessary. Still, we miss each other. They feel isolated and lonely as they're not physically able to talk on the phone, hard of hearing, too, and have no one to spend time with them. This breaks my heart. My mom is in the hospital and I'm scared they will tell us that there is no more visiting until further notice. Also, she is on a vent, so I don't want it to get to a situation where they are going to choose who gets a vent and who doesn't, because I know the hospital she is at is already short on them without a pandemic. Made Olympic trials for the first time. Was super excited to go and compete. Now every single gym and pool on the planet is closed, and even if they weren't, the meet itself is postponed and likely to be cancelled. It's not the end of the world, but damn, it was really something for me to look forward to. Online dating, meet after Corona? Corona and chill. Corona and chills and fever. Small businesses. These guys are going to be decimated. Yeah, I own a medium-sized business, 150 employees. I am a natural saver and have been saving for recession since 2016, so I am in a better spot than most, but with the current devastation I still think we can only hang on about 6 to 8 months. No layoffs yet, just small cut on hours, but the longer it goes, there is only so much I can do. I'm a restaurant bartender in Florida. This was going to be a really busy spring break for us after a slow winter that got me behind on bills. They haven't told us to go to takeout only yet, but I feel like it's coming soon. Our neighbors get the bulk of their cash flow during spring break and it tides them over for the rest of the year. Spring break was just shut down, so they're scrambling. This pandemic is really showing just how close to being out on the street most Americans really are. Miss a small amount of work or an event like spring break that you depend on and it's disastrous. Respect for my boss. He's been peddling conspiracy theories and says that this is no big deal and people are overreacting. Nobody can work from home, even though most only need a computer with internet to do our jobs, and is refusing to implement any preventive measures. The kicker, he's the health and safety manager. The area manager at my company is one of these hats too. Making people physically come into an office that is literally in the same commercial complex as a Novant test site for COVID-19. He didn't respond to common sense, reasoning, or any appeal to humanity. So I spoke his language in terms that he could understand. If I come to this office, get infected and take this virus home to my family, I will not only file a lawsuit against the company itself, but I will name you personally liable as the decision maker who was responsible for implementing this policy. The next day we were told to work from home indefinitely. I manage a grocery store. This pandemic has ruined my faith in humanity and broken my heart at the same time. I have seen a side of people that I never want to see again: ugly, vicious, self-centered, fend for yourself attitude. I desperately just want every customer to be well stocked and ready. I want myself and my employees to be safe and not verbally and/or physically abused. I want myself and my employees to feel well rested again, and I don't want to see fear, sadness in people's eyes when they need something and either don't have the money for it, it's out of stock, or they're just scared for their future. Conversation in general. It's all anyone ever wants to talk about. Honestly, this is the biggest one. If you want a break from the stress and fear-mongering of the news, you can turn the TV off, but conversations, you need them to at least feel sane. Gamers are likely going to be the least impacted by this whole thing because the socialization is online anyways. Was supposed to go on my first date in about 2 years yesterday, but she has to be quarantined for 2 weeks. Can you do a virtual date? Like you guys Skype and talk like you would on a date? I feel like that'd be terrible. At least with a normal date there's a good finite ending. A Skype date doesn't really have one. Senior year. For my little sister is the same. Classes are exclusively online and of course graduation party is cancelled. She feels like her high school life just ended without any warning or time to say goodbye, and she's really sad. I'm sorry you're going through the same experience, dude. It's I had my first trip to Italy booked and it was going to be the trip of a lifetime and now it's cancelled. Just my career and social life NBD. Same. I think that's the worst part, is that people are losing income and their jobs over this entire thing. We all need some form of relief. Last Thursday I sat in bed and scrolled Twitter watching as all my income for the next several months disappeared in the span of 24 hours. I work in the entertainment industry and every single gig I had lined up got cancelled. It sucks. My business has to declare bankruptcy. I have to fire 5 people with no financial support to offer them, and I myself will be homeless. So pretty much ruined my life. A friendship. My best friend is still having a wedding tomorrow. We live in the US in a place where it's gotten pretty bad. Literally everything has cancelled or asked her to reschedule, but she said no. Instead she got an Airbnb and is doing it all herself despite the rules and guidelines. I'm the maid of honor. I had to tell her yesterday that I couldn't go because I didn't think it was safe. She did not respond well. Like at all. I have a lung condition and my partner has asthma. It made no sense for us to go to a gathering like a wedding right now. She told me that I was choosing fear of a little virus over her special day. I've tried calling her several times and she won't answer my calls. She said she is disgusted by me. Everything about this sucks so much, and based on her reactions I don't think she will ever see it from my side. I was supposed to fly to Berlin to celebrate my 20th birthday. Cancelled. So I decided to invite a few friends over to celebrate at home. Cancelled as well. Ended up celebrating by myself with pizza and Rainbow Six Siege. My last semester of college. Our spring break got extended a week, and then we're finishing the semester online. Graduation ceremony cancelled. We're all just going home. After we move out, I won't get to finish out with my friends and my college experience is just over. I have bipolar, and one of the most important things for maintaining my mental health is keeping a routine. My life is boring. I go to uni, I come home and go to the gym, I go out for a coffee or a tea or go to get groceries, and then I relax for a while before bed. Now, uni is closed, the supermarket is in a complete state, and although my gym is open, I have obvious concerns about going there. Such a sudden change in my routine, coupled with being unable to contact my GP, has already created a bit of a wobble. I'm not sure what direction it'll go, but I'm genuinely worried about my mental state. Everyone keeps saying it's easy to stay at home, but for me it really isn't. I've tried home workouts, but it's never going to be the same as power lifting at a gym. My usual diet is having to change because of people ransacking the shops. Fortunately, my sleep has remained fairly solid. My sleep routine changing is normally the big indicator of going into a hypomanic or manic episode, so at this point I just about have it together. I'm just worried what several months of this will do to me.